Welcome to the Week 12 edition of the Over Under Spreads. We've had a few weeks off, but we're revitalized and ready to go ahead of a bumper week of NFL games for Thanksgiving. And it's worth going over our scores from the last few weeks, Mike. Even though we didn't do the video, we both submitted our spreads.
Well, I'm happy to go over the scores because we've made a marked improvement from our mid-season slump.
Yeah, we have. I mean, we were doing pretty. We were about 60% before those weeks 7 and 8 really killed us. We bounced back week 10. I had 6 at 42%. You had 9. Very good week there at 64%. Then last week, I picked at 61%, and you had 54%. So brings the season totals, both of us just a shade over 50 there. You've got one more total than me on the year, but good to see us getting over 50%.
Yeah, that's how it feels. I don't think if I'd been putting money on, I'd be a very rich man, even though I am shading 50%. I think I think it's been that kind of year. I think as I say, we've had a slump. Oh my goodness, someone's calling me now. I'll have to decline that. Colleague calling me at 5:20. That is not going to be answered. Right.
No, we've got some spreads to pick.
Indeed. Your favourite from last week? Should you quickly do that?
Yeah. Did you have you were very passionate about last week?
Yeah. No, I was. I should have had money on it. I was pretty emphatic with you that it was going to happen, but the Cowboys giving the Vikings an absolute doing there in America's game of the week was about as predictable as they get. Vikings extremely overrated for my money. So, I think that was probably my standout. How about for you?
Yeah, that was a good one. I did not see that coming. I took the Vikings there. I'll have to learn from my error there. I think I was pretty happy with Carolina covering a stupid spread, a ridiculous 12.5 points being given to them at Baltimore. We both know the Ravens would like to keep them close when they play at home. So, yeah, that was quite satisfying. Maybe Indianapolis as well, coming there against Philly. I just felt that had a bit of a slip-up game for the Eagles, and it almost turned out to that way.
Yeah, no, I've been backing against the Eagles all year and losing, so I just thought it was about time I backed them. But yeah, if I had stopped and thought about it, it probably wasn't the wisest decision. And on the road, they've got another big spread for them this week. It'll be interesting to see where we go on that one because they're big favourites again. Really, the overall record being taken into account more than the Eagles' roster and injuries and all the rest of it at the moment. So we'll get into that in detail, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so let's get this moving then. I'll get us into screen share mode. As always, we are on a clock, courtesy of Zoom. I refuse to pay them any money for the privilege. So
that's good. I don't mind that decision. Also means there's a bit of zip to the proceedings.
Yeah.
Well, some bigs coming up this week. That's the big spread's going to be a theme here. Some really crazy ones, and it starts here, Mike. Thanksgiving.
Well, you've already texted me today about this one, Tom. I know you've got strong feelings on it, so I think I'll let you roll first, and we'll alternate from there.
Yeah, well, the Bills were heralded as Super Bowl contenders, and they've had a bit of a slippery patch here in the middle of the season. But if you don't really count last week's game against Cleveland, which I don't because the Browns are just in a mess, they've come unstuck and haven't covered in the last 3 weeks before that. So I'd be very happy taking the Lions, the upstart Lions, who are actually winning games now, more than being upstart. They're actually a productive football team. To give them 9.5 here on Thanksgiving, I think Dan Campbell is going to get the bunch fired up for this one, and they're going to go and put in a performance for the home fans. Now, even if they don't win, I still feel very comfortable taking the 9.5 points. This is a head scratcher. I don't know where that's come from, to be honest, given the Lions' recent games. It just doesn't make sense to me personally.
No, and when you mentioned this to me earlier, I went away and had a quick Google to see if there are any injuries for the Lions or anything, and there aren't. Everyone's just backing the Bills on a short week to come in and give the Lions an absolute smashing at home, which I'm with you. That's not going to happen, I don't think. The Bills as well will have stayed. I'm sure they will have just stayed in Detroit from the last game, which, I mean, they won't have. I don't know if the Lions are good enough to share their facilities with them or what, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel, it doesn't feel like a good week. The Bills. I think they win the game, but I think it'll be a
Yeah.
scrappy affair. Every week I out, Josh Allen is still their leading rusher. They finally last week, the Bills tried to get some kind of orthodox run game going. So they'll probably try to continue that against the Lions, but I think they keep it close. A feisty Lions team, as we know. Agreed with you on that one. Lions cover. Another huge spread. To be honest with you, I wanted to take this one because it's NFC East, two teams that I know well. And yeah, quite simply, this won't be a 10-point football game. This is a Giants cover. It's NFC East. It will be close, rugged. Giants hurting after that loss last week to what, well, clearly what many people is an underpowered Lions team. Cowboys will be very, very full of themselves after that huge win over the Vikings. But the Giants actually stack up much better against the Cowboys than the Vikings do. They'll run it right down the middle of the Cowboys defense and on the edges of the Cowboys defense, which is where they've been giving up a ton of yardage this year. So I wouldn't look for Daniel Jones to throw it more than 15 or 20 times in this game. And I think you could even have an upset Giants win here, but I'm going to say the Cowboys win a squeaker and the Giants cover.
Yeah, very interesting about the matchup there. How they will absolutely match up better than the Vikings and keep it close, I'm sure. I get a little worried when there's two big spreads here. It feels like someone knows something that we don't. What is the reasoning for this? This is very bizarre.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just too many points there. I have to agree with you. Take the Giants here in a divisional game. It's rarely going to be above one score. So yeah, that is a cover. But I just feel a little bit, something just doesn't feel right about that. I was thinking of actually taking the Cowboys, but you just got to take the points at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm going to take a double. I think just extend out the Giants and the Lions a little bit to cover. It won't be a huge winner if it comes in, but I just feel confident in both of those results, to be honest. So I think that's on the cards for me this weekend.
Nice. Okay.
Well, no, I need to get moving on it tomorrow, actually, if I want to get it in on time. Right. Okay. Yeah. So Thanksgiving Eve.
Yep. An interesting one here. The Vikings, when they are favored on the spread this season. Do you want to have a pop at what their record is when they're favorites?
I'm going to guess they're 0-2.
On the spread, I mean.
On the spread, yeah. No, I reckon they've been underdogs in a lot of games.
Oh, okay, I see. No, they've been favored in 6 games this year.
Have they really?
And their record is 1-5 against the spread in those games. Wow. So they're clearly a football team that does not like having the favorite tag. This is a prime time game, and as you rightfully pointed out to me earlier in the year, Mike, Kirk Cousins' record in these games is absolutely woeful. You have to take the Patriots to cover here. This Patriots team seems to have a habit of punishing slightly unsure teams who maybe aren't entirely sure of what they want to do and don't have an identity. And I think this is going to be an upset win here for the Patriots, if you can call it that, on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor the point too much. I agree. I just think Patriots defense, I've got them in fantasy football. I'm expecting a big day for them against Kirk Cousins. I don't think this will be a particularly good outing for the Vikings offense. And then, the Patriots offense will get enough going in the dome. Last week in the wind in New York, they didn't get anything going, the Patriots offense, but in a dome, they'll get something on the board and it'll be enough. I think I agree with you. I think an upset here, Patriot win. Yeah.
I mean, it could be the start of a Vikings slip here. They've been winning a lot of close games and they might turn to now losing a few close games. You don't really see it being like a 14-3 football team at the end of the year.
It's the same thing as the Eagles in terms of they've been winning the turnover differential regularly as well, which it doesn't matter how good your defense is. That doesn't necessarily impact how many turnovers you get. It's not a straight line like that. And so it's unusual for a team to win the turnover differential as often as the Vikings have. So that's definitely going to flip on them in the second half of the season. And they might lose a few more games they should win just because they'll turn the ball over a couple of, and I think that starts here. So after saying I wasn't going to belabor it, I've thusly belabored it. So we'll move on.
No, you got to go in on Cousins when you get the chance, Mike. I know you enjoy it.
Coupons strikes again. Right. Okay, this is me. Good Lord. Yep. A toilet bowl affair. Broncos at Panthers with Sam Darnold under center this week. Did you see that, Tom? He's got the start ahead of Baker. That tips it for me. I don't know what Sam Darnold is. I don't know what he's going to be. I know what he is historically. I don't know what he is in this new offense, and I don't know what he's going to be coming back off not playing all year. So you just simply have to take the Broncos. I could be wrong. I'm happy to be proved wrong because I don't really like the Broncos, but got to take him this week.
Yeah, I'll differ from you on this. I think the changing quarterback gives them a bit of all their 3 wins so far have been at home. The Panthers, they're absolutely abysmal on the road, but they actually do a decent job at home. And I think this Broncos team is essentially just given up. I mean, that loss against the Raiders, they were just pathetic. There was no other way to describe them. I don't think they like traveling on the 2.5-hour flight here out to the East Coast, Denver, and taking on an NFC opponent. So give me the Panthers. Panthers to not just come but win this one.
Nice. First difference of the week. We can't agree all the time. So Falcons at Commanders. Wow. I don't know how I feel about this. Good job you're going first.
The Commanders have a bit of a hot hand at the moment. I started off picking them to win or to cover a lot of spreads this year, and I got burned. I did flipped on that, but I don't know. I think they've got enough here to beat the Falcons by 4.5. Just for the fact that they are on a form team. The Falcons won a close one last week. I don't see the Falcons winning at home and then going on the road in 2 weeks and winning 2 of 2. They're just not that team. So although the spread the spread will tempt you to take the Falcons, but I'll take the Commanders here just on form alone.
Yeah, no, I don't really know which way to go on this. This isn't a confident pick. I'm going to take the Falcons just because it is the Commanders. And I just don't see them finishing the year with a winning record. That's just not who they are. Especially with Heineke at quarterback. I mean, he's better than Wentz, which is why I was so keen to pick against them early in the season because I knew Wentz would cost them games. But Heineke's obviously got them playing, got them competitive. But I don't know. I mean, both teams won last week.
Makes a lot of mistakes, Heineke. He still will turn it over a lot.
Yeah, but exactly. And both these teams won last week. So somebody's going to have a 2-game win streak, believe it or not, out of these 2 teams, which you wouldn't expect. I'm going to say it's the Falcons just to be different. Why not? Yeah. Right. Blimey. Baltimore going down. What is this spread? Ooh, okay. They finally learned their lesson, the bookmakers, on the Ravens. They finally kept it within 1 score here.
Yeah. You're gonna be tempted by this. Well, I'll be interested to see where you go on this one.
Yeah, this is, as we say in the UK, a Timmy teaser here. They just want you to pile in on Jacksonville here, and the Ravens win by 5 points or something ugly. I don't know. I think it'll be a close game. We talk about this every time we do one of these. The Ravens always play it close. So yeah, just give me the Jags in Duval County just to make it ugly and maybe a field goal win for the Ravens. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. The Ravens, they're doing pretty well sitting at the NFC North. I feel like they might have a few more slip-up games though. I just don't think it's this week. I think because it's under that 1 score that we spoke about, I'm more comfortable taking the Ravens in this than I would be the Jags. Like you said, with some of those other teams, I just don't know who the Jags are at the moment, and they don't really fill me with confidence. So I'll take the Ravens, although I fully expect I might be wrong there, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's not exactly a banker, is it?
No.
So Tampa Bay head up to Cleveland. Now, is Deshaun Watson back in this game or not?
No, it'll be the next week he's back.
Next week, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it would impact this. I'm not sure it would impact the spread that much because the Browns are so bad and we've not seen him play for 2 years. So that will be interesting to see how much his impact alone, affects some of these spreads for the Browns down the stretch here.
Well, I mean, the first game at Houston next week. So if the Texans are like a 7-point underdog, that could be well worth looking into in that one.
Yeah.
As for this one, it's quite a simple Tampa Bay victory here. The Browns, again, are one of those teams, they do seem to play a little better at home this year, just looking at some of their historical games this year. But there's just too many mistakes. And as soon as the Bucks get up, score or so, it should be over. The Browns usually start strong, but finish badly. So that I can't see this game being scripted any other way.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they're on a roll now. Just a little bit of a roll, a half roll. Brady's got them finally moving. They're just getting some. Evans has not really missed many games, but I don't feel like he's been healthy. They're getting Julio Jones back. The defense will do enough to stifle the Browns' running game, which is obviously huge for the Browns. If the run is not efficient, then Brissett won't get much done. So yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay, I think.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clean cut, that one.
Okay. Good stuff. Right. Next one is Chicago. Da Bears going to the New York Football Jets.
Goodness, who do you want to pick this one? Well, you can have at it.
I don't know if Fields is healthy. Do you? Oh, you're breaking up quite badly there, Tom.
Just listing him as questionable at the moment.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Bears. Just they'll run it a lot. Fields has to play, I'm sure, and they'll keep it close. I mean, the Jets have been so bad recently that I'm gonna say that roll continues and they make a bit of a mess of this one. So I don't really know who to pick here, to be honest. I'm surprised the spread is as big as it is in favor of the Jets. So I was expecting this one. I was expecting this one to be more of a coin toss, but now I feel really uneasy because I feel like, again, everybody knows something that I don't. But yeah, I'll take the Bears.
Well, yeah, if Fields is limited running, then that will certainly factor into it. But again, yeah, it's like you said, the Jets have been terrible. The Bears, they've lost the last few weeks, but it's been extremely close losses by a field goal. So I'd fancy him to, if they do lose, I reckon it'll only be by a field goal. So there's too many points there. 3.5 is too many in this. That's a double for the Bears for us.
Nice. Right, I was perusing this one earlier. You're gonna pick it, Tom. It's
Whoa, Nelly.
Houston Texans with a monster spread at the red hot Miami Dolphins here. Four in a row if they won, I think. 4 in a row, the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They are on fire at the moment. How do you feel? What are you saying?
Yeah, you got to go with the form team here. It's a lot of points, but if they score a quick touchdown early, I mean, the game's all but over here, and if they get up by more than a score early, so I have to take the Dolphins here. The Texans, they just went up to New York last week and got it handed to them. Now they come down to Miami, so a couple of games on the road for them, and this team just really isn't built to handle that very well. at the moment. So it's the Dolphins for me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the main story will probably be the Dolphins offense, but the Dolphins defense, I don't think matches up well for the Texans. I mean, it's not good news for the Texans. I think Davis Mills, I don't know if he's going to stand up to being blitzed regularly on early downs with only Brandon Cooks to throw to. That might cause him some issues. Have to hold the ball and take sacks, which could allow the Dolphins to run up a bit of a score on them here. So I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Dolphins cover that enormous spread. I'd say we're going out on a limb there because that is a huge amount of points in the NFL. That's about as big as it gets without being down to like a third choice quarterback or something. So taking a risk, but you got to sometimes, haven't you?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, what we've seen from them, we really can't pick anything else there.
No, I don't think so. Right. The Bengals just getting a little bit of momentum here. A little bit going for them. The Titans.
The Titans, goodness. I mean, this is one I looked at and thought this will have to be a coin toss, this one. There's absolutely no way you can pick this game. So I feel like whatever I pick, you should maybe just pick the opposite one just to add some diversity.
Is it me first? I think it's me first on this one anyway. So you'll have it's my honor here, Tom.
Oh, have at it. Okay, I thought it was mine, but that's
no. You just led on the Dolphins there. I should have let you go there because I really don't know how I feel about this.
Just pick one.
Just pick one. Give me the better quarterback. Give me Burrow. Not happily though. Not happily.
I quite like that because I was thinking the Titans maybe should be favourites in this after what they did on Thursday Night Football last week. Very, very promising performance for Tannehill, of all things. Starting to get Treylon Burks, the rookie, involved more. He's seen as a bit healthier and he's learned the playbook a bit more now. So that's big for them if they can have a legitimate receiver.
Interesting for the Titans, though. Their offensive coordinator after that Thursday night game got arrested for a DUI. And I don't know if he's been sacked or not. So after just getting, I wonder if it's in the articles here. No. After just starting to get on something of a roll offensively, the Titans, I think they might have got a bit of a spanner in the works. I would imagine he's been stood down for this game at the very least. So they might have somebody different calling the plays.
Okay. Yeah.
So their defense isn't brilliant, the Titans either. So I'm not talking myself out of it. I'm sticking to the Bengals. Yeah. Go on, you pick. You haven't picked yet.
No, the Titans for me. It's a Titan home team. I think they should be favourites. They're underdogs. Like they're annoyed with that. So go on, give them the Titans. And actually, probably the game of the week on paper. This would be.
I'm looking forward to that one. I think it should be fun. I think there'll be points, but not too many points. They've each got just enough defense, so it's not just a track meet. So it should be a good one. I mean, look.
This is not good news for the Cardinals at all here because they're just coming back from Mexico City on the short week. They've got to host the Chargers, who are annoyed with their close loss to the Chiefs, as is always the case usually when those two teams play. And I think the Chargers come out and want to win this one big. I think they just got a bit too much for the Cardinals here. I just can't put money on the Cardinals at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, no matter who starts at quarterback, it just seems pretty bad for them. Again, this is the one if the Chargers get a couple of flash scores early on, this one could be put to bed here. So give me the Chargers. I'm going out on a limb here, taking the away team, but it's not really that much of a home field environment, is it anyway? So the Chargers.
I think it can be when it's rocking and they're a good team. I don't think it's one of those fan bases that are up for it no matter what their record is, though. And the Cardinals have been pretty dismal the last 4 or 5 weeks. There's one play against the 49ers in Mexico where they just 2 or 3 had a shot at Kittle to keep him out of the end zone and no one went for the tackle. They they literally pulled out and said, "We're not taking the contact here," and he walked in. It was the most. Troy Aikman was up in arms about it. It was just cowardice, basically. So I think that tells you where the Cardinals are. I think they're starting to make business decisions, knowing that there's going to be a coaching change there next season, maybe even a GM change. So I'm going to get the Chargers. Herbert's fully healthy. Keenan Allen looks better than he has done. Mike Williams probably isn't healthy because he's never healthy, because he's in my fantasy team. It means he won't be healthy. But they've still got enough, I think, with a healthy Justin Herbert. They've been in a lot of tight games because he's been hurt. Now that he's healthy, I think they're going to start blowing some people out down the stretch here. So yeah,
I think so.
Chargers blow the Cardinals out here, I would say.
Okay.
Okay, so how are we doing? We're doing all right. We've got 12 minutes left, so we probably need to go a bit more quick fire here. So the Seahawks, I missed them last week on the bye. Really fun team to watch this season. Was sad it was their bye week. Las Vegas come into Seattle. Nah. I don't think that's. I think the Seattle Seahawks win this by a touchdown. Yeah, give me the Seahawks.
Interesting.
I'm bullish on the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks like being underdogs. I'm not sure how favorite tag suits them. The Raiders seem to have a little bit more momentum now. Not too much, but the Seahawks defense still isn't the best, and the Raiders have a lot of weapons to exploit that secondary. So I think just because of the spread here and the manner of the 3.5, I think I like, if they do lose, it might not be by a field goal. This would be a close game. So I'll take the underdog on a close game.
Yeah, you're probably right. You've talked me into that. I now regret being so bullish on the Seahawks, but we'll see what happens. I'm sticking with it. I won't back out now.
You got to trust in Geno.
Whoever thought we would be saying that? Not I. Right.
Oh, never.
Oh, big spread alert. Correction, this is as big as it gets without an injured quarterback. But is he injured? I think he might be injured, Stafford. I think that's why it is.
Just 1 second. I think he seems to be in concussion protocol. I'm not sure. It's one of those ones I might need to wait and see on the day, to be honest, because if he's there on the day, I can guarantee the line won't be that big. So maybe we need to wait.
I think that's fair. I would agree that we're not going to know. I've accidentally closed the website, by the way, so I'm just getting it reopened here. We're not going to know. We're not going to know if Stafford's healthy. I think they keep it on 15. My goodness. But if he's not, then I think Patrick Mahomes could get the whole fourth quarter off in that game, to be honest. So I think what we'll do is we'll call it later, and then you'll tweet the good people, won't you, Thomas, and let them know what we've done, because that just simply can't call that, not knowing whether Stafford's going to be healthy or not.
No, not at all. Too much going on there. Too variables.
Yeah, agreed. So I mean, I will say, if this line holds and Stafford's out, I'll be taking the Chiefs still. But
we'll talk about another team that's potentially given up, the Rams. I mean, didn't take much, did it?
No. Well, the offensive line has been absolutely abysmal. Even last week when they were playing well before Stafford got hurt, he was still getting the shit kicked out of him. It's just been awful for them, the offensive line. So, not good year for them at all. Holy mackerel! Wow. This is. I didn't realize all these ones down the bottom were so big. I hadn't even got around to looking at these. So, whose go is it to pick first?
It's me now because we didn't pick the last one. So, um, ah, the Niners do have a history this year of destroying teams. They get these big wins out of nowhere, and then they'll slip up on a banana peel the week after. It's really tough. This one is there. I feel like this spread is there for people to pile in on the Niners now because after the game in Mexico City, but I'm not going to glean too much from that. A neutral field. This is the NFL. I'll take the Saints to cover 9.5. There's just too many points here for a Niners team that isn't really built to blow people out. They're built to play close, to be honest. Short passing, run game. So I think that spread is that. I think you'll see a lot of people piling on the Niners as a reactionary spread. If I may predict, but yeah, I'll be happy with the Saints 9.5.
Ditto. Yeah, everything you've just said. That is a blowout against last week for the Niners against a team that's given up, and the Arizona Cardinals, and I don't think that's going to be reflected. I mean, the Saints. To be honest, if the Saints are down a couple of scores in this game, they might go the same way because I don't think they believe in their coach either. But I think they'll come out firing at the very least. And yeah, the Niners don't normally blow people out, do they? That was a bit of an aberration last week. So yeah, give me the Saints too. I think you have to. Although I've got to say, I was watching the highlights of that Niners win, and that now everyone's healthy. They've got Deebo Samuel lining up at fullback. At halfback, and then McCaffrey in the slot, Kittle in the slot the other side. It's all crazy formations they've got up their sleeves. I think they could be. I think they've got 3 consecutive home games now as well. They were saying on Monday Night Football. So I think they're about to get on a real roll here, the 49ers. But yeah, I think the Saints will keep it closer than the experts think. Speaking of closer than the experts think.
Oh, here we go, Mike. You get to pick your Eagles.
Yeah, I actually didn't. That was unintentional. I didn't know this was going to happen. So, and honestly, I haven't picked the Eagles well this year, so this doesn't feel like an advantage of any kind. I've been waiting for this, for injuries and the turnovers to start impacting the Eagles, and it finally happened last 2 weeks. Turnovers against Washington, injuries against Indianapolis. So, and we never play well against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers normally shows up. It's normally him and Russell Wilson show up and give us an absolute nightmare defensively. He's got no weapons, Rodgers, but I still just don't trust our defense against a quarterback of that caliber yet. We haven't had to play a quarterback of that caliber this year. All due respect, Dak Prescott is not in that class. So, or Kirk Cousins. So I'm going to say the Packers keep it close, very close, and the Eagles eke out another late win to go to 10-1. Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
I think so. I think it's a close game. Definitely agree with what you said about the caliber of quarterback. The Packers are another one, like the Bucks. They seem to have. Now it's kind of the business end. They've got things rolling a little bit. The emergence of Christian Watson is very big for them. I think he's had 5 TDs in his last 2 games, so that's good for them. Yeah, it's just too many points there. This game feels like it's going to come down to a turnover or a special teams gaffe by someone, to be honest. I probably would take the Packers to be the ones involved in a gaffe because their special teams isn't great. But again, yeah. The 7 points just seems like too much here. The Eagles, they have not been covering these big spreads as the season's gone on. Certainly, they were at the start. So, yeah, this is a no-brainer for me. Packers, I'm with you.
Ooh, I don't know if I'd go no-brainer, but I'm happy to take the Packers because I agree with you. The special teams gaffes in the Packers and the lack of weaponry. If the Packers get away from their running game, we'll win this by more than 7 points. The key for them is they've got to run the football. We're weak with Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis was playing the best nose tackle football of any player in the NFL in his rookie year. He was unbelievable against the run. And since he's gone out, we've looked a bit soft up the middle. Now we've signed Sue and another player, I forgot his name escapes me, to try and replace some of that production. But it's still been a bit of a struggle. Jonathan Taylor had some joy last week. So yeah, Packers have got to stick to the run here. And I think they will. So, but if they don't, look out. Okay.
Look out.
Okay. You're on. You're up. Wow. Goodness. I don't think ESPN were anticipating these teams with having these records when they flex this into Monday night.
No. This is tough.
Very tough.
I think the Colts, just by virtue of Matt Ryan being somewhat better than his opponent here, opposing number, I think they pull out the win. 2.5 does seem like a lot, though. This was like a half-point game, probably. But I think I'll just take the Colts because they're at home, and the 2.5 sits within a field goal win, which feels like that's all this game will be.
Very close.
I mean, it's probably the second toughest game of the week to call here because, this is going to be very tight. Absolutely be looking at the under points total for this, which I believe is, what's that set up there? I can't quite see.
39.
39. Comfortably. Yeah, take that. It's going to be like a 16-10 game. Yeah, I'll just take the Colts, just by virtue of them being at home.
Okay. Well, just a minute left in the meeting, so I'll make this brief. I agree. I think it's going to be a very close game. Given that, I'd feel more comfortable taking the Steelers because I've got that extra margin. Then, if the Colts win by a point or 2 points, I still cover in a close game. And also, I don't know what the Colts are going to do with TJ Watt. I don't think they've got any way of blocking him on the edge at all, unless they chip with a tight end and a back simultaneously, which will massively reduce the throwing options to Ryan. So I'm going to take the Steelers. I think they're getting a bit of momentum themselves. And Watt coming back is perhaps the biggest injury recovery in the NFL for the difference it's made to that defense. So give me the Steelers. You've got to think Tomlin's going to outcoach Jeff Saturday.
You would. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel confident about that. It'll be nice if we've got some jeopardy there in that one for a toilet bowl.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
that's it.
I think we better go before we get cut off. Sayonara, my friend. Enjoy the games.